And welcome to the Under the Bus podcast. I am your host, Merge. I'm here with Clayton. What's good, Clayton?
Hi.
Lakers just played against the Spurs. They beat the Spurs, the Kawhi-less Spurs, but it's still a well-coached Spurs team, obviously. 3 wins in a row. They've been looking a lot better as of late, even though if it's against lesser competition, we've been having problems with lesser competition anyway in the games before these last 3. So it's been a lot more fun to watch this team, especially after they lost 9 straight. So we'll start with the most important Laker, probably. Lonzo Ball came back 4 games ago, right?
I believe so.
4 games ago. And the team has looked so much better with him on the court.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing what a competent point guard will do for you.
And someone who knows how to play defense and use his size to his advantage and has really quick hands. But anyway, what have you seen from Lonzo that has changed the way the Lakers looked, especially during that 9-game losing streak?
My main thing is he's now able to push other guys off ball like Brandon Ingram. Mm-hmm. Being able to do that is incredibly important because while Ingram can handle the ball and run a bit of point, it's not the role that he should really be playing. Mm-hmm. As like Pete from Laker Film Room has said over and over again, the role that he should be in is like an off-ball guy. And when we've seen that with Lonzo playing, of course, Ingram looks a lot better. Yeah. I think that's really the biggest thing for me. And obviously the defense is just improved. Those are just making sure that Ingram isn't having to shoulder such a heavy burden since Tyler Ennis sucks still. And Luke apparently doesn't want to play Caruso to see what they actually have. I think just having as I said, a competent point guard, being able to run the offenses and putting guys in the roles that are best for him,
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I've seen, the most impactful that Lonzo has been this whole year is on the defensive end. And I think that has obviously showed. I had mentioned in the last podcast that the Lakers were the worst defense in the span Lonzo was out in the league.
Not surprising.
And with him, they're a top 10 defense. I think right now they're 14. They might be better after this game. But it's a complete opposite of what I expected from Lonzo. Coming into the season, I was 100% expecting the defense or the offense to be a lot better. Actually, I wouldn't say a lot better, but like a top 15 offense and then like a bottom tier defense. It's been the complete opposite. He's just so good defensively, and I did not expect this at all. I mean, he has some of the quickest hands I've seen in a while. He's okay. The Lakers were 15th before this game. Now they're 11th, by the way, in defensive rating. But
already creeping back up.
Yeah, and I mean the teams who are ahead of them are all at 104 defensive rating. The Lakers are at 104.8. Jazz 104.7. Yeah, so on and so forth. They'll go back up there. They'll get back into that top 10. I expect them to. I mean Lonzo might be one of the best defenders in his class. Obviously, OG Anunoby is the best defender in this class, and I think I might put Frank Ntilikina.
Those are the two best defenders in my opinion.
He's
might not show
at the very least,
but whatever. That's from watching. Those are, in my opinion, the 2 best defenders so far.
Yeah,
and then Lonzo is a close third because he has been really good. And I was really tough on his defense before the draft, and he shut me up.
Yeah, he's been legit awesome. And I mean, not to go back on the past, but him and D'Angelo would not have been a defensive train wreck as a lot of people would have expected it to be.
Yeah, especially since before D'Lo got hurt, he was
one of the best in pick and roll defense.
Yes, he was elite on defensive pick and roll.
And that was like he always would die on screens too. with the Lakers. He would completely just get torched. But I mean, past the past. Sad that we couldn't see those two together. But anyway, I mean, and especially it's funny saying this now, especially how Lonzo started the season. We have another shooter out there. Lonzo's been really, really good compared to his start. Ever since I want to say like around November, he's been shooting close to 40. I think I saw that somewhere. I don't know exactly where I saw it, but he was shooting around like 39 since like late November, early December, which is very promising. And I mean, we said this before on the podcast. We never thought that he needed to change his shot. It was always his footwork. And people have pointed out that his feet are finally straight and facing the basket. And what do you know? His shot's actually going in now. And I mean, it's when he is confidently pulling up, you expect it to go in. Yeah. At least that's what I'm at now. When he does not hesitate whatsoever, I'm expecting it to go in, and that's a huge change from the beginning of the season. And if he can get that to the point where people go out on him, I mean that's like awesome, pretty much.
Yeah.
So moving on, you brought up Ingram. What have you seen?
My boy, he's finally bringing the ball away from that stupid mid-range area, and he's stepping back and taking more threes. There was a good long stretch where he didn't make a three. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games where he didn't make a three, and there was that two game inactive time streak. Whatever.
He's out for 2 games. I thought it was 1, but yeah.
It was Portland and Minnesota. He was out. It says.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, he didn't. So he didn't make a three for a while, and then he was 1 for 1 against Charlotte, 2 for 2 against Atlanta, 2 for 3 against Sacramento, and then he was 2 for 5 tonight. He's making more. He's bringing or he's attempting more. He's making a more. I'm happy. That is going to open up so much more for him, because it will open up those driving lanes that he was taking advantage of at the beginning of the year. And I mean, he still does. He's driving a lot still, but when he's able to make the defensive honest, then he can obviously take advantage of that. And he's just been so insanely efficient lately, especially the last 3 games or 4 games. The game against Charlotte, he was 10 for 18. The game against Atlanta, he was 6 for 7, and he still scored 20 points. He was 6 of 7 from the free throw line as well. 6 of 9 against Sacramento, and then tonight, it's not yet on Basketball Reference.
I believe it was 11 for 21.
11 for 21, yeah. So he wasn't super efficient tonight, but he was 2 for 5 from 3, which is still 40%. But the free throws were the concern. That's really a team-wide concern.
It is, yeah.
I mean, not to say that he doesn't deserve any criticism for that. He was 2 for 5. So I see people think that Brandon Ingram isn't very good, like because his real plus minus isn't very good. And they're not watching the games.
I would like to see after like 10 or 15 games with his starting lineup, I want to see his real plus minus.
It's partly it's that, but a lot of it is one, his free throw percentage is
that too.
His free throw percentage is not very good. I'm on it's 68% this year. That's obviously not good. No. Okay. It needs to get better. It needs to be at minimum 74 to 75% at minimum, in my opinion.
Right.
It might take a couple of years to get there. But that and the fact that he takes a lot more mid-range shots than 3-pointers, those two really affect true shooting percentage, and real plus minus takes that into account. It weighs a lot on true shooting percentage. That's why his real plus minus is low. I've seen several people say that, but of course, people that don't watch regularly aren't taking that into account. Okay, like he's still young. He's still making dumb plays every once in a while. he's still taking bad shots. And not necessarily that like he's not open or like he's forcing shots, but he's the mid-range, especially long mid-range shots are not good shots.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not efficient, you know?
Yeah.
There's a few people that make them efficient because they're just such good shooters from there. Case in point, like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Marvin.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. He's so efficient because of his free throw rate. But yeah, it's just those two factors are a big reason why his real plus minus is low, and people just don't want to take that into consideration. And yeah, I get it. He needs to improve those to become more efficient as well, and then he will have a higher impact.
Yeah.
But people focus on that and don't realize the context of it. He's not. He's needing to take a step back. He's needing just to make free throws, you know, like he's at 68% on free throws, but you know, the guy that I don't want to make sure that I'm right on this. Yep. Okay. Darling child, Ben Simmons. All right. The guy that went ahead of him.
Oh,
he's shooting 55.7% from the free throw line. That said, he's also just shooting well from the field pretty much period at 51%. But because of his free throw percentage, his true shooting percentage is only 52.7% now. Yeah. And because he's afraid to shoot. Yeah, like, he's afraid to shoot. So, I mean, his efficiency has gone down a lot. It's still high. Like his real plus minus and stuff like that are high because his defense has been incredibly good.
Yeah.
It's something I was not expecting. I should have factored in athleticism a lot more on that, in my opinion.
And him not giving a shit at LSU.
Yeah. But yeah, I just don't think people really factor that in. So like Ben Simmons is at a 52.7% shooting percent, and he's afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
Like he's like afraid to shoot. While Ingram is currently at 52.2%, but he's also taking shots with actual distance.
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not don't think I'm bagging on Simmons, okay? Like I was wrong on a lot of things with Simmons. He's still a very good basketball player. I always thought he would be very good.
Yeah, but rookie of the year still. I mean, Mitchell might be coming up on him, but
Mitchell's probably coming up on him, especially if Ben Simmons is just that afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, people aren't taking stuff like that into context of it, you know. And Brandon, even though he's only taking on the year 1.6 threes a game, it's up to 35%, 35.5%. So if he can stay at 35.5% and get those attempts per game up to 3, so he's making like 1.2 a game out of 3 or so, then you're very happy. You know, he's increased, or he's improved everything this year. I'm going through. He's attempting more shots. He's making more shots. He's taking more He's taking less threes, but he's making a higher percentage. He's taking more free throws, making more free throws at a higher percentage. He's grabbing more rebounds, more assists, only a little bit more steal and block. His turnovers are more, but he's also handling the ball quite a bit. And his points he's almost scoring 7 more points a game. I mean, technically he is from 9 to 16, but you know, percentage wise or decimal points and everything. So like I'm very happy with how Ingram is, and I don't think that looking just at stats can really put into context of how much he's improved and that he is a real positive to the team. Anyone that says he's a negative, you're not watching.
Yeah, I mean, I still blame the bad advanced numbers on him always starting, and he's been with some bad starting lineups. So I think the next step with him and his progression is going to be off ball defense. Personally, I think that's his biggest flaw.
His defense needs to improve.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
It's improved this year, but his D rating on Basketball Reference, which is always higher than like NBA.com, is 109, which that's not very good. Period.
Yeah.
But that is something that they need to obviously improve. But if you look at his advanced, his defensive box plus minus is 0.1, so it's actually a positive now. So who knows? Like, I mean, like I just one number saying one thing. So like, he's improved, obviously, but it just needs to get better. And I just because of length and everything, and when you have other better defenders around him, I think it'll get better too.
And I mean, guess what? He just turned 21, or is he not even 21 yet? I forget, honestly.
He is 20 and 131 days. So no, he is not 21
yet.
He can't even.
He's not even 21 yet, and he's this good. I think he's gonna be the best player of our young guys. I think he's gonna be a top 10 player. I think he'll be a top 3 small forward. I mean, I think he's gonna be that good, and if he's this good as a 20-year-old, I mean, what's he gonna be in 5 years when he's only 25? You know?
Yep.
Moving on to arguably the best rookie on the team. Kyle Kuzma has had a bit of a slump as of late, shooting the ball wise, and he's been playing a lot less minutes because he was completely overworked when Lonzo was out. He was putting up 36 plus minutes, almost 40 a game at certain points, and he got injured, which also didn't help. I still don't think he's fully healthy yet. I think that's gonna happen All-Star break or off season or something like that. But he seemed to be a lot more active recently in other facets of the game. What have you seen from him and stuff that isn't just scoring from him?
The thing that I've noticed most is he's a lot more active on defense. And I'm not just meaning like shuffling feet. He's agile enough and everything. I didn't think he was necessarily like awful with switching. Like, I mean, they switch everything, which is, I mean, to their detriment in a lot of times. But at the same time, I mean, it wasn't awful in my opinion, but it wasn't very good, his switching. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
But the thing that I've noticed is his hands are a lot more active.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that he's finally getting over the Utah style of defense where they they weren't really gamblers on steals or blocks or anything like that. You know, they were just a very, let's just try and make sure to run the clock out type of thing.
Yeah.
So he's getting tips. He's not necessarily blocking more shots. I can check that here in a second.
Oh no, I'm on Basketball Reference right now. Last month he had 10 blocks in the whole month.
Yeah. How many games is that?
14 games.
So it's in 5 games, I would guess that's about 0.8 blocks a game.
In 5 games this month, he's had 6 blocks. So he's had a block a game.
Yeah. So okay, so that is getting better. But you should also be noticing that he's not. A lot of times these aren't considered blocks, but like when the guy is rising up to shoot, like and not, I guess maybe a deflection, but he's rising up to shoot, and before he can even get truly into a shooting motion, like he's at, like, the ball is at the guy's chest instead of at his face. He's knocking it away.
Yeah.
So he's getting a deflection or an early block that wouldn't count as a block or something like that.
Right.
He's also, his hands are more active in passing lanes, and maybe it's not leading to more steals. I mean, if you how many have you're already on it? So if you
steals, he's had this month 3 compared to 8 in December, and then 4 in November. So on.
Okay, so it seems to be progressing a little bit. What you should be noticing and seeing during the games isn't maybe not the steals aren't dramatically better, but he's touching or deflecting balls a little bit more, so where the guy isn't so like set, so the guy is a little bit more uneasy and he has to take more time to get into his own oh my word his own technique or skill, or whatever he's gonna do, his position, that whether he wants to go like triple threat or if he's gonna rise up and shoot or something like that. So he's deflecting balls to the point where it's helping get the guy off or uncomfortable.
Right. And even with his recent shooting slump, he's still shooting 38% for 3.9
for the year.
For the year, which is a lot. I mean,
I could have sworn it's going to be like 35. Yeah, 34, 35, which I thought. I mean, because anyone that thought he was going to shoot like 48% like he did at Summer League was ridiculous. But if he can actually stay 38%, which is still, I think, the team high, that is ridiculous. Like
especially for a rookie. Yeah,
the only rookie I think is shooting better from 3 than him is, at least with playing as many minutes, is Tatum.
Yeah, it's 100% Tatum, but I'll look it up what his exact percentage is. But yeah, it's definitely Jason Tatum, just because he shoots a lot less too. Though
Tatum is, if I remember correctly, Tatum's starting to crash back down to earth.
He is. He's shooting 46 now.
But I'm sure in the last few it's quite a bit less.
Let me look at the split real fast. In January, he is shooting 33%.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, I mean, I would probably guess he probably ends 38%.
Yeah,
I would say so. Which is still going to be really good,
right?
But that just shows that, one, I was still very, very wrong on Kuzma, which I've said I think on every podcast for like the last.
Anytime we talk about Kyle Kuzma,
I have to apologize for that. You can talk real quick, but I do want to give a shout out to Josh Hart, who is shooting 36% from 3.
He can't shoot, man. We're talking about he can't shoot.
Yeah, I was told he can't shoot. 36% from 3. Yeah.
I want to say it's like 40 ever since he's came back from the G League as well.
Yeah, I mean I
don't know exactly, but
he's been really good. So your thoughts or things that you've noticed on Tatum on Kuzma.
Same person, right? Tatum, Kuzma. All of you said I agree with, but I think the biggest thing for me has been his playmaking has been a lot more prevalent. Especially in the past 3-4 games. I've seen a lot of some insane passes from him. Like stuff that like you would expect someone like Ben Simmons to do on like the norm. Like
those whip passes.
Oh yeah, he breaks those out all the time. There was a play against the Kings where Lonzo was a bit out of control. He was like running out of bounds, sort of. He threw it behind his head to Kyle, and then Julius was cutting down the middle, and then he did a no look behind his a no look, just like right to Julius, who was cutting right in the middle of the lane. And I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? I mean, he makes a lot of passes out of the. Or he makes a lot when he has the ball and he's attacking, and that's where he seems to get that the most on the short roll for him. He seems to do a lot more there. I always sort of felt like he had this, but he never really needed to sort of bring it out. But I think this sort of slump of his from shooting the ball is sort of a blessing in disguise, because
he's having to focus on other things.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like if you had one sense blocked off, all of your other senses are going to heighten.
Yeah.
And hopefully this means that once Kyle gets back to doing all the Kyle Kuzma things that we've come to know and love already, shooting the ball wise, offensively, scoring wise, then he'll just become a much more well-rounded player. And instead of being a guy who puts up 20 and only gives you like barely any blocks and steals and like an assist a game, he'll give you 20 with a block of steal and 3-4 assists a game, which is a much better player, obviously, a much more well-rounded player, and that's the type of player that I want Lakers to sort of develop and look for, guys who can just. Ideally, I would like a 1 through 5 who can just pass everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, even someone like Josh Hart, we've seen him make some really nice passes too, especially on the play where he did a no look to Kuz, and then he didn't even give him the high five, which was great. I love seeing that all the time. Josh Hart is kind of turned into a meme for that, for him not getting high fives from people. I feel like the team does it on purpose now, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think once Kuzma gets back to his near 40% shooting ways, then he'll, and all this other stuff is heightened now, then he'll just be a much better player. I kind of want to ask you, so assuming what you've seen now from Kuzma, first question, what do you think Kuzma's ceiling is? And second, who's been better, a better rookie, Lonzo or Kuzma?
Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out roughly what Josh Hart is shooting. 54.
Are you trying to go since he came back or something?
Yeah, I'm kind of just counting in my head.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. You can do it on Basketball Reference. Answer the question. I'll figure it out.
No, I'm almost there. You keep,
okay.
You keep screwing me up.
I got it. I already have it.
How many has he attempted a game?
About 3, almost 3.
No.
Per game?
Yeah, I was going through actual game logs and just since he came back in Denver back in
2.8 3-point attempts per game, and he's shooting almost 40.
Okay, yeah, see, perfect.
39.4.
Damn you. Okay. Who do I think has been a better rookie? You said Kuzma or Lonzo?
Yes.
Obviously the better scorer is Kuzma, but I think the better overall player is Lonzo.
Okay.
And I know that's probably the unpopular opinion, especially with talking heads.
Yeah.
Because they just see Lonzo only had 5 points the other night, but he had 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 5 steals, and I think a block.
Yeah.
He's impacting the game in a lot more ways. And while Kuzma, when he goes Inferno, he has a few times, that's obviously really important and it's impactful. I think as a whole on the season, because Lonzo's defense has been incredible, while Kuzma's defense has been a complete travesty.
Mm-hmm.
I believe now that Lonzo is one of 5 rookies that is, I think if you factor in tonight, that will be an actual quote unquote real plus minus positive guy.
Yeah. I believe the other guys who are in that are OG, Jordan Bell, Donovan Mitchell, and I believe John Collins or Jason Tatum. Well, it's probably Tatum, but
yeah. So he's one of just a handful of guys to be an actual positive for the team. And while Kuzma's offense obviously is very good, his defense to this point, he has seemed to improve it quite a bit recently, has been very bad. And, just defense is very important to me. People think that you can just hide bad defensive point guards. And in a lot of cases, you kind of can.
I mean, people might bring up Steph, but I still don't think Steph's a bad.
Steph is a good defender. I don't give a crap what anyone says. He is a good defender. I don't know if I would have said he's an elite defender. I think Basketball Breakdown said
in that greatest year of all time that he had. Yeah. That's what he said that year.
Yeah, I mean, I did think that he was a top 8 defender, but he was making it out to be he was a top 2 defender for point guards. There are point guards that you can hide, but Lonzo is legitimately good on defense. And he is impacting because he's not being hidden. While KCP usually does take the harder assignment, Lonzo is since they switch so dang much, he's on other guys and he's not breaking,
Yeah.
So I think that is very important. On the other hand, fours aren't easily hidden.
Right.
And it has been very noticeable. Like
yeah.
Kuzma and Randall have been two of our best players, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that's pretty obvious. Any lineup with Kuzma, I believe, is a negative.
I think the only one that isn't is the one with Randall, or the one with Randall is like
the one with Randall. It's really close. But with Randall being as good as he has been this year, and Kuzma is, and again, Kuzma has been very good, but that defense has been so bad.
I think Kuzma's been a rookie on defense, and Lonzo's just like
I mean, and that's
broken any sort of rookie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm not saying that like I don't think he's going to be a sieve on defense forever.
Right.
He's a rookie. He's coming from a system that was completely different from this. I do think it'll be better. I don't think he's going to be an elite defender. I think he can be an average defender, if not a bit above. Because I actually do believe the hands are pretty quick. So that would help. But overall, their rookie year, I just think that when you can impact the game in more ways than just scoring is more important than just scoring.
Yeah, and we've seen already that Lonzo's offense is starting to come around a lot too.
It is,
which is huge. Completely not really random, but I want to say that Lonzo's 3-point percentage is just below 30 right now.
It's 29.8. What did he shoot tonight?
4 for 7.
It might be at 30% tonight, but
that's wow.
Because I think it was at 19% at one point. So like it's risen in the last several weeks, 10%, and if he keeps shooting the way he has shot recently, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to like 32 to 33%. And then next year, it would not surprise me if he was 37 to 38, because the main reason why I see such a jump is because he started off so bad.
Yeah.
And all he was shooting was threes, and I was fine with that. While it sucked to see him clank so many, I was fine with it because I regardless of all of my evaluations of Lonzo and everything, I did think he was going to be at least a good shooter.
Yeah.
And
you weren't expecting next Steph Curry that people were saying.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, but like, I did think he could get up to 38 to 40%. And if he's a 40% career 3-point shooter, you're very happy with that.
Especially with how many he shoots as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's shooting right now 5.3 a game.
Yeah.
So if he stays at 5.3 and he raises it up to like 1.7 made instead of 1.6, 1.7 or 1.8, you're looking at probably 31 to 32%. I'm again, just off the top of my head, I can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and if people want to say like Kuzma's been the better rookie, I'm not gonna put up much of a fight, because
he's been a historically good offensive rookie.
Yeah, I mean he's very, very good. Yeah, if he raises it to 1.7 out of 5.3 attempts, that's 32%.
That's all I asked for.
Really,
people were expecting what Kuz was doing now from him,
Yeah, I mean, and if he raises it again to 1.8 out of 5.3, you're looking at almost 34%. So, I mean, he's getting there. It's just going to take a while for that to go up, just because, I mean, I think he started out like 8 for 70 of some not crazy nonsense like that.
I'll look at the splits right now, or the game logs right now, because I think you're right. Follow-up question. So just to recap, you said Lonzo over Kuzma, correct?
Yeah, just because I think he impacts the game a lot more.
Okay, follow-up question. What do you see both of their roles in their prime on a winning team? It's kind of a loaded question, but
I mean, like, Lonzo is going to be a guy that facilitates all over the place. He's going to impact the pace of the game. I do think he's going to be. I mean, what do we count as an elite level shooter? Like,
I think elite is 38 plus.
See, like I think of elite as you have to be over 40%. and in his prime, I think that he will be elite and over 40%. He'll be getting. I mean, I don't know if he'll ever actually average a triple double like Russ, which I mean, everyone fawns over triple doubles.
No, for Lonzo, they floundered them. Russ,
no, they fawn like they just swoon over them.
Yeah,
like I mean, I don't really. I mean, I understand that it usually means that you're impacting, but then if you watch a Russell Westbrook triple double, you can see a lot of times where there's a lot of stat padding to that.
We said this before. A Lonzo triple double is much more impactful than a Russ triple double. At least when I watch the games. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know.
Maybe. No, I don't know. I just have a hard time with that because Russ, even though I do not like him, he's a top 6 player probably.
Yeah, top 6.
I mean, probably most everyone would have him higher than me. I'm not. I mean,
a lot of people say that he's better than Steph, which I just laugh at every single time.
No, that's ridiculous. My thing is with Russell Westbrook's triple doubles. You just go back. I mean, like this can be said for a lot of triple doubles, regardless of team, because a lot of times those are by paid team people, I believe. So but I mean, there are times when Russ his bigs evacuate and they just give him the ball or just let him get the rebound, So I mean, he does average a lot, but then he's not Rajon Rondo assist hunting, but there are times where he is gunning for that triple double, and he is not a very efficient shooter, obviously. When you don't care that you went I think he went, was it 8 for 32 or something one game? And I don't care about the percentages. Well, he probably should, because your team would probably win a lot more if you really did.
Yeah, I think I saw something that said when Russ shoots more than 8 3-pointers, there's something like 0-7 or 1-7 or something like that.
That doesn't surprise me at one bit.
And then when he shoots less than 5, they're like.
The thing is like he thinks a lot of people think he's a really good shooter. He's not. Last year he was still below average, and he was at 34%. That's still below average.
That was one of the greatest seasons of all time, too.
He was shooting 7.2 last year. This year he's back down to his normal career averages of 4.6, but he's still only shooting 31.6% from 3. So I mean, his free throw percentage is way down this year. I don't even know
that's really weird. That's really weird. He was really good last year for the free throw line.
It's down over 13% from last year. That's. I mean, I haven't really paid attention to the Thunder except when they lose, because then we get to all make our Paul George Paul George jokes. But there's just a lot of hunting for things in there, and I don't like saying that, because obviously last year when he had some decent players. Don't let anyone say that team was nothing.
What about second best shooting guard in the East, Victor Oladipo? Why wasn't he that good?
Yeah, that is the thing, man. Oladipo's really good this year.
Yeah, man.
And he's keeping it up. And I'm not going to blame that all on Russ.
Yeah.
But that's kind of an issue. But yeah, I mean, he had Oladipo, who just didn't look great with him. He has Steven Adams, and Steven Adams to me is a top 5 center. I just love that guy.
Especially on a team on a championship team that doesn't revolve around a Cat or a Joel Embiid. That's the type of guy you want.
Oh yeah, no, he was a guy that before they signed him to that massive extension, I had secretly wanted, but I just always knew that that was never gonna be an actual guy you had a chance at.
Yeah, I mean. That is probably the ideal center you want, with Lonzo and Ingram and so on and so forth.
He's a big brute, but he is still fast. He's so strong.
He's so athletic too.
There was a dunk against the Lakers where, I mean, he put no effort into it, and I thought he was going to rip the rim off. and he well, I wouldn't say like he's a freak athlete like who do I want to say a freak athlete up for a 5 nowadays?
DeAndre Jordan.
I would say 2 years ago, DeAndre Jordan. I think DeAndre has taken a step back athletically. So like 2 years ago, DeAndre, like Steven Adams isn't at that level, but he is no slouch athletically, and yeah, he sets hard screens. He rolls and he has good hands. That is so like that was a guy that they had along with Oladipo. Cantor is doing his thing in New York. I mean, he was always a good bench big.
Yeah, he's been what 15-11 with them.
Yeah, something like that. I think I'd have to check. I haven't checked him in forever.
Right.
And then just like I thought Sabonis at the beginning of the year, I thought he was going to be like a rookie of the year candidate, but he just wasn't there.
He's been good for the Pacers.
He's been good for the Pacers. Yeah, exactly. So they've surrounded him with talent this year, obviously, but yeah. I mean, the team still wasn't very good. It wasn't as disastrous as people said last year, and he still got them in the playoffs.
I still say that team is better. That team was better than the Rockets
this year or last year.
Last year, yeah, that team was better than a Rockets team, in my opinion. You know, like
that's a toss-up for me. Because Ryan Anderson is an elite big shooter, can't play defense, but Clint is. I love Clint. He had Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon,
and then they got Lou middle of the season.
Yeah, so I mean, they were essentially even for me, but Harden had them a lot better.
Oh yeah, but people made it seem like the Thunder were so much worse.
Yeah.
Than the Rockets, and no wonder James Harden's doing so well. He has all these players. I think the perfect players you need to put around Russ are Klay Thompson is the perfect star for Russ. Klay does not want to handle the ball. He wants to shoot all the time on spot ups or around screens, and he plays elite defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much Robertson if you know how to shoot. You know, like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would put Klay as good. You said Klay, right?
Yeah, Klay.
Yeah, I thought so. I wouldn't put Klay as good as a defender as Robertson.
Well, yeah, Roberson's probably a top 5 perimeter defender, but still, I mean, Clay's.
This year I would literally have Anthony Roberson as or Andre Roberson as a defensive player of the year candidate. He's been insanely good on defense, and their like the Thunder's defense has taken a big hit with him out.
Yeah, they're top 10 right now, but they were top 3, I think.
Yeah, with him, they are so much better. Like, he can't shoot a lick, but man, that guy is such a good defender. That was a reason why I just wanted him. You know, I didn't want him on the deal that he got.
Right.
But yeah, he's such a good defender. If he could ever just like there was a few years ago or a couple years ago, there was the year before Katie went to Golden State, when they were kind of playing Roberson as like a 4, just like making him do rolls and everything like that. If you play him like that and don't hide him in the corner and just kind of have him do pick and rolls. I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7" with like a 7-foot wingspan. Just make him dunk on dudes. Like,
yeah, I mean, the plays that I seem to always realize that with him that happens the most are the ones where he cuts back door and Russ is driving to the basket and Russ just dumps it off them and he just dunks on people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how do we get there? How do we get here? Triple doubles, right? Talking about Lonzo triple doubles.
Yeah, we went. You were kind of going. We were talking about peak. I didn't say Kuzma yet though.
Yeah.
Kuzma, I think Kuzma can be
I think he can be second best scorer.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. I think your best scorer is going to need to be also a really good ball handler, and I think you're going to need another really good ball handler in there somewhere as well.
Yeah, I think sort of what I like the sort of like dream when it comes to next year or like the next few years is having your 1A be or being your number one scorer being Paul George, and then 2A 2B being Ingram and
yeah,
and
that's what we've been talking now about for what, a month plus.
Yeah, pretty much.
Our dream of just filling our around with other young great talent.
Pretty much. I mean, Paul George, and put all of our young guys, keep Julius Randle, get McCaw and all those
McCaw, Noel. I mean, like, you could literally, because Luke he's been less egalitarian this year. But I mean, still the rotation is 9-10 guys still. 11 sometimes. You could get some young guys to continue to build around. You could get a couple, I wouldn't say ring chasers, because that's not a team that ring chasers would want to go to, but you could get a couple solid vets, just like mentor, but are still like guys that could get a few minutes a game. Like
kind of like
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the wheels might be falling off the bus for him.
I don't care.
But I mean,
I need his dunks once a game. I need those dunks once a game.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's a guy that apparently has taken to Kuzma every time they play against each other. Those two are talking. So like, just bring him in. So get a guy like him. Bring in McCaw. Bring in Noel. Just look for other shooters. Seth Curry is going to be a free agent, I believe.
Give me
my boy Mario Hazonia is an unrestricted free agent.
JC from Mario.
Yeah. Oh man, it was from Favell though, so I don't know how much I actually think that will ever happen now. Anytime you ever suggest something, I'm like, well, that's not happening. So,
what, like Larry Nance Jr. for Luke Kennard?
Oh man, did you see that? That was my good joke for Pete, since he didn't want Pistons fans being mad at him.
Man,
I was procrastinating like crazy.
on a side note, shout out to Pete for asking getting the answer of the year from Luke.
Yeah, that was great. I loved that.
That was so great.
He wanted to stick to basketball, and of course he got that quote. Answer. Yeah, he got that quote. You need to keep Luke on as the head coach now for like the next decade, just because of that answer.
Yeah, him and Steve Kerr are those type of guys that just crack jokes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to probably maybe the last topic. Julius Randle was inserted into the starting lineup. How many games ago? 5 games ago? It was the Charlotte game, right?
I think.
So I think like 4 or 5 games ago. And no. He was inserted in the starting lineup about 8 games ago against the Rockets, I want to say.
I'll look it up.
Because when he started at the 5. But the new lineup of Lonzo, KCP, Ingram, Randall, Lopez has seemed to work out really well, especially the game against the Kings, where Lopez put up 20 and Julius almost put up a triple double. He seemed. I mean, hey, what haven't we been clamoring for this lineup or the starting 4 or 5 for pretty much since preseason, since we got Brooke?
Yeah, and one of the funnier parts of it, of Randall starting, was like the first couple games. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? You're muted, Clayton. What the heck? Yeah, Julius. He was. Let me looking at the game. You there?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I shifted around in the little button on the headset.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things is when Julius was put into the lineup, that's when like they had a couple big losses or ugly losses.
Yeah.
But then the last few, he's looked a lot better. Tonight was not the best night for him.
Bad night for him.
And yeah, he only played 18 minutes, but honestly, with how good Nance was tonight, I don't necessarily blame him for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you You just don't have it. The only guys that really get pulled or that don't get pulled are Lonzo and Ingram. Those guys are usually consistent in their playing time. But, Luke a few games ago sat Caldwell Pope down because of how bad his defense was. He sat Brook down. He sat Kuzma down. So while I wish that Randall played better tonight, I'm not going to fret that much because that starting lineup was still pretty dang good. The part of the main reason why Kuzma and Nance were so good was there was a lot of time that they played against that San Antonio bench.
Oh yeah, the Bertans lineup.
Bertans is I believe is a very good 3-point shooter. But
he put up like 6 against the Canes a couple nights ago.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there was like nothing coming from that bench,
I mean, Forbes wasn't even off the bench; he was a starter. So
I mean, Patty Mills went 0 for 5 and 0 for 4 from 3.
That's very unlike him.
Manu, who, I mean, are the wheels falling off for Manu? I mean,
no.
I haven't watched San Antonio, so I'm literally asking. I don't know.
It hasn't been like really, really bad, but he hasn't been Manu. He's been he's putting up 9 a game, almost 10 a game this year.
Yeah, so that bench just it didn't have a lot of firepower, so that's part of why their box score plus minus is so high. But
and then Nance was just fighting for a lot of boards and stuff like that, and then he destroyed the basketball.
Yeah. And Nance had a nice double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. He actually took a couple jump shots.
I mean,
instead of just going for dunks.
Whenever I see that and he makes it, I'm like, dude, if you can just do that 5 times a game, I wouldn't.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world to me. There was I don't remember who tweeted out. I'm sorry. I'm usually pretty good about remembering who tweets stuff out. But someone tweeted out that he was 2 feet from the basket, pump faked or waited essentially till Powell got.
That was Ben.
Was it Ben? Okay.
Yeah.
I should have known. And then he had to pass out because of course it's Larry Nance.
Yeah.
So he still has Larry Nance. But yeah, peak Larry Nance. But just But I mean, it's still the second half he took over in his own role player way that he does.
Yeah, I mean, if the Lakers do end up trading him, I will not be surprised whatsoever if he is a awesome bench player on the Spurs or the Warriors or whatever, Just because, I mean, that just seems like Larry Nance's calling for his career.
Yeah, and
being that guy who.
Yeah, I would love to keep Nance. I would love to keep all of them.
Yeah.
Just because I do believe all of them can be pretty dang good players. Mm-hmm. But someone is going to need to be moved. I've been saying it for a while. And I just want to keep the highest ceiling guys. And I
the
would
guys who fit the modern NBA the best. And Larry is not a very good switcher and he's not very good in the post. And Julius is very good at both those.
Yeah, which surprises a lot of people because a lot of people think he's an elite athlete, and he really isn't. He's an elite level jumper.
Yeah,
that's why whenever people say that, no, he's a great athlete. Did you see his combine? His vertical jump, like
D'Angelo had a 40-foot vertical. Jamal Murray
40 foot.
A 40-inch vertical, man.
It was
why do we trade that guy if he had a 40-foot vertical?
Yeah, D'Angelo had a 39-inch vertical, and I think
Jamal Murray had like 42.
Yeah, so like,
shout out to Pat Connaughton.
Don't just like no.
Shout out to Pat Connaughton for having the best combine vertical.
Yep, go white boy.
There we go. I need Pat Connaughton just so I can gloat about that.
I would legitimately enjoy having Pat Connaughton on the team.
Pat Connaughton is like he's the shooter that Lakers need. But anyway,
is he still shooting good? Now I have to look it up.
I do too now.
Well, I'm already there.
Well,
So he is shooting now 37.9% from 3 on 2.8 attempts.
Yeah.
In 20 minutes a game or so, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah,
on a very cheap deal that he's on, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's the kind of guys Lakers need off the bench.
Yeah,
we don't have that guy. We don't have one of the. We don't have a Mark Bellinelli on our team at all. We don't have someone like that.
We don't have a Matt Thomas.
We don't have a Steve Novak.
A Matt Thomas.
I heard you. I
know.
just love bringing up Steve Novak.
I don't like Novak. I never liked.
The only season he was really good was the Lynn Sandy season when he turned his 3-point celebration was the Aaron Rodgers. This kind of
yeah. I mean, like, man, I didn't realize. How long did he play, or is it just he just got traded a ton? Holy crap!
He did. He's like Quentin Richardson.
Yeah,
traded like 10 times in his career.
There was when I was young, I loved Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles, and
Darius Miles.
Was it Corey Maggette there too?
And Lamar too, I think.
Yeah, I love like they were just that was like when they were on Fox Sports Net all the time. So I loved watching them just because of the stupid fist. The fist. Did they ever say what that was?
What?
The little like fists at the top of the head, like
yeah. I don't
know if they ever said if they ever let that be known. Jerks.
Anyway, final question, so we can end it off. And this should be an easy one, even though it seems to be a hot topic debate on Twitter. Should Pau Gasol get his jersey retired?
If you don't believe Pau Gasol if you believe he doesn't deserve to get his jersey retired, then you're an idiot. Full stop. You're an idiot.
I think he played
7 seasons. He was a Laker for, I believe, 1 season less than Shaq. So, and he won if he won 2 titles with the Lakers. You don't have Pau, you don't win those 2 titles.
You don't have Kobe the next offseason.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe would have left. So, no. If you don't have Pau, 2007?
Yeah, the 2007 season.
Yeah, that doesn't you don't go to the finals against the Celtics. You don't beat the Magic, and then you don't beat the Celtics. So, like, no, he's a clear he's a Hall of Famer anyways, and that's really that was like the low mark, isn't it, for the Lakers?
Yeah, he's the second best Euro of all time.
Yeah, I mean, like
Dirk.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, he's already better than some of the guys that are hanging up on the rafters.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean if you don't believe that, then you're just full of crap. Like, I don't know what is wrong with you. The dude, he clearly deserves to be up there.
People act like he's Lamar Odom.
Oh my! People act like he's.
And I love Lamar, but
like Pau was a top 10 player.
He was the second best player on a championship team.
Yeah,
you're telling me Klay Thompson isn't going to get his jersey retired by the Warriors?
And you're telling me, like, yeah, Klay Thompson. If you're telling me that, like, go look at some of those games that Kobe had during the finals. I know people don't like to bring that up.
Game 7 against the Celtics, man.
You don't have Pau, you don't win those championships. He belongs up in those rafters.
Especially with Andrew Bynum always banged up in those championships.
Yep.
But the arguments I've seen are like, oh, he hasn't been a Laker long enough. Oh, he's just a role player. Just a role. I think people say Byron Scott deserves it more. The hell he does. No. Maybe I'm salty still about Byron Scott. I don't care. Byron was a role player.
Yeah, Byron was a role player. Pau was a star.
Pau was a star. He was the second best player on a championship team. He might have been able to win the Finals MVP.
You don't even need to say he was the second best player. He was a legitimate star in his own right.
I mean, he was an all-star every year. Mostly every year he was a Laker.
I mean, he was freaking awesome. It just whenever I've seen it a lot lately too. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me.
He's one of the most underappreciated Lakers of all time.
He really is. And then he was almost traded I don't know how many times. So
yeah, poor guy. I mean, so many people called him soft when he was a Laker. Even what did Kobe say? I'm trying to think. He told him something. It was like there was like a quote from Kobe that he told Pau something during the game that was like, it's not the softest Charmin thing, was it?
I don't remember. I thought that was for Dwight, but I don't remember.
Maybe that was. Anyway, yeah. I mean, even like, you know how great that would be to have his number next to Kobe's. Like, they're like the best of friends, and like they were so insanely close.
Yeah.
In when they were both Lakers, and even today, to this day, I saw they asked Kobe, you need someone who. If you need a game-winning shot, you're double teamed, and there's someone open for the 15-footer. Who are you giving it to? And he said Pau every single time. And I mean, yeah, Pau was awesome. Man.
Like, is Pau as good as Shaq was? No, like, no, he wasn't. But he was insanely good.
He's pretty much he's pretty much Jokic if he played back then. That's what I see him as. A better Jokic, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like oh man, I've seen that, and I mean, like, I was never even the biggest Pau fan. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like, really, those championship years, like, I was more into baseball at the time. Like,
Pau's my guy. I always love Pau.
Yeah, I mean, like,
shout out to Damon.
I mean, he was just so freaking good, man. It astounds me that anyone says otherwise.
People always say Lakers are the best. Laker fans are the best fan in the world. We always love our players.
Yep. They 08, 09, 09, 10 when they won, he was averaging 18.3 and 19.6 points per game. He was averaging a double while also providing 2.5 and 3.5 assists, over 2 blocks a game, with 3 and 2.7 fouls. So he was, I mean, so stupid. I'm sorry. Like, if you believe it, you're just a moron. Full stop. You're a moron. He had 62.2% true shooting percentage, the first title, and a 59.9% true shooting percentage on the second title.
If he has the same career in 7 seasons on literally any other franchise, he's a
top 3 player of any other franchises.
Well, that plus he 100% gets his jersey retired on all the other 29.
The fact that it's debatable is just it's not debatable. That's the thing. It's not debatable.
It should be the next one. It should be whenever Pau retires. It needs to be a year or two after.
Yep.
If it isn't, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, does he deserve a statue? No, I don't think he deserves a statue. He deserves this. I mean, if Jamal Wilkes has his freaking number up there, then go look at the numbers. Pau is better than Jamal Wilkes. So
right now. Yeah, I mean, Pau was. I mean, let's see, 1 point per game, 17.7. His highest average was 22.6. He was over 20 3 times.
He was just. I mean, like, Gail Goodrich too. I mean, like, it's just we retired Wilt Chamberlain's number, and Wilt wasn't with the Lakers very long. If I'm checking it real quick, I think he played more years with.
He was a Laker for 5 years, and he wasn't even that good the last 2 years. He wasn't Wilt his last 2 years on the Lakers. He put up. 50.
Well, I mean,
under 50.
He also wasn't shooting as much. It's because of players around him. But I mean, his final year, holy crap, is 72.7% field goal percentage. I will fight someone to say I believe that Wilt Chamberlain is a top 3 player of all time. I will fight you.
All time. That's debatable. I thought you were going to say the best center of all time.
I'm coming to West Covina. I'm beating your ass. Like,
I thought you were gonna say center, and then I was gonna go right into the mic and just say Shaq really fast.
No,
Shaq is the best center of all time. I will debate that with anybody.
No, I love Shaq. But no, I mean, like, I do understand, like, the time and everything, like, people he was playing against. So, like, of course, he wasn't going to average 50 points a game now. But like, if I'm starting if I want a starting center now. And, like, I can pick, like, from anyone in the prime.
Hakeem. Then give me Hakeem.
No, I'm going Wilt.
I feel like Hakeem would be a top 5 player all time if he played.
7-1, and dude was as strong as go. Like, he had, like, he still holds records in Kansas. Like, he qualified for, like, Olympics for track and field stuff. Like, No. The dude was a insane. He would be an insane rim runner and rim protector. He would be amazing. He would be DeAndre Jordan on steroids.
Man, he was 1.4 assists away from a triple double with a 2020 season.
Yeah, he was kind of good. He was. I mean, there, and it took until his. He played a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well,
so his first 10 years in the league, he averaged over 20. Like his lowest was 21.1 rebounds a game. Yes, I know height disparity and stuff like that. Still, 21.1. They said, like, go look at the picture of Wilt standing next to Shaq and I think it was Akeem at the All-Star game back in the early or mid 90s. It was when Shaq was still with Orlando, so it might have been early. Wilt was still bigger than him. So, like, he's listed at 7'1". He might have been 7'3", and he was a freak of nature. I will go. I will fight anyone. I will, like, I'm coming down to West Covina. I'm beating the crap out of you, Merge.
Magic better. Oh man, and you'd probably fight me for saying that LeBron's the greatest player of all time too, right?
I do love Mike more.
Yeah.
I do agree with, before you end. I do agree with Jamie when he says that, like, Jordan's the mystique of Jordan only grows better, or like he's like the only player ever to get better even though he's retired. That said, Jordan is still the GOAT for me.
I mean, I get it, but
LeBron is
Steph better.
Steph better. I don't want to shit off all the hot takes, so I'm not going to say anything.
I've seen people say that they think KD can end up a top 5 player all time, which I actually agree with that.
If he plays the defense like he's been playing this year, then yeah.
And they win like 3 more championships, the Warriors, and he catches, or he almost catches Kareem in points. I think he can be a top 5 ever. But anyway, we are way off topic. We started talking about Wilt Chamberlain, and
I'm down to talk Wilt Chamberlain any day. So I do love Wilt.
You want to add?
No. Trade Jordan Clarkson. Get a wing and get a backup point guard.
I'm tired of seeing Tyler Ennis come in games and have Ginobili score 8 points instantly on us.
Just cut Tyler Ennis. Don't even worry about
bring the god. Bring in the balding god. We need it.
Yeah, the balding god.
We need it. He dunked on. Will Tyler Ennis ever dunk on Trevor Ariza? I don't think so.
Can Tyler Ennis even touch the rim?
I don't know. I've never seen him do it. But anyway, that is gonna be it. You can follow the pod at I almost a Lakers Legacy pod. What the heck? Under the bus pod.
Shout out to Jonathan.
Shout out to Jonathan. You can follow Clayton at Lakers 1949. You can follow me at Merge Christian. You can follow Nelson at probably_Nelson. Right? That's his Twitter name now. Yep. We are working on getting the iTunes back up. We have the SoundCloud back up. We'll start trying to get more out, especially with, I've been a lot more motivated to do it, especially since I got all my equipment sort of stuff. So here's to the Lakers winning the rest of the games in the season. Playoffs, baby, here we come. We're on our way.
I'm done.
All right, thanks for joining, guys. See ya.
Bye.